Have you ever heard of the Japanese urban legend about a masked yokai who wears a long red cloak, haunting those using public or school restrooms late at night? If not, it goes by the name of Akamanto. What started out as a schoolyard rumor eventually spread its way throughout Japan, with the first occurrence dating back as early as the 1930s. Many variations of this legend exist, but one part always remains true. While using the bathroom, you reach for toilet paper, when you realize there's none left. You then hear a knock on your bathroom stall, followed by a simple question: red paper or blue paper? Picking either option here ultimately results in your life ending. Picking the red paper will leave you lacerated, with your corpse being drenched in blood and nearly unidentifiable, while picking the blue paper will result in Akamanto strangling you or draining all the blood from your body. If you think you're smart asking for a different colored paper, you'd be sadly mistaken. This will result in you being dragged to the underworld, never to be seen again. And those who try to outsmart Akamanto by bringing their own toilet paper will notice it disappears before they're ever able to use it. The only way to avoid getting killed is to either ignore his question or reject taking both colored papers. Do you think you'd survive? Well, today we'll find out with the Chilla's Art game, Akamanto, which roughly translates to red cloak in English. Released in 2019, Akamanto is a retro-style Japanese survival horror game about the urban legend of the same name. Without further ado, let's start the game and see if we can escape this masked killer. This is where our story begins. Our protagonist is forced to spend the night at an abandoned school, after getting too close to their classmate's boyfriend. When trying to find a way into the school, we discover that the main door is blocked off, forcing us to find another way inside. After entering the school, we have no way back out, due to the door being blocked off. This could be from the bullies or maybe even something supernatural. One of the first things I noticed in this room are these missing girl posters. I feel these are important to bring up due to Akamanto's main target being young women. There's also a bathroom connected to this room, and in here is a stall asking us the dreaded question: red paper or blue paper? The blue paper seems to have already been taken, meaning someone was here before us. Our protagonist decides to take the red paper, which opens up the bathroom stall. In here is an old key, which allows us to now access the rest of the first floor. After unlocking the door, we can enter the first room in this hallway, which seems to be a storage closet. In here is a dresser that has a lighter in it, allowing us to now see in dark areas. There also appears to be a vent in this room blocked off by some wood, meaning we can't access it just yet. Continuing down the hallway, we can find an unlocked classroom with an important item in it. This is the crowbar, which allows us to remove the wood blocking certain areas. This means we can now enter the vents found in the storage closet. And this is where your freedom begins. Your main goal during your stay at the school is to avoid the masked killer Akamanto, all while trying to escape the school alive. On your adventure, you'll need to explore different areas, discover helpful items, and even solve some simple puzzles. On your journey, running into Akamanto is pretty much inevitable, but luckily the game gives you a heads up before this happens. When he's nearby, you will start to see Japanese characters appear on your screen, while a faint heartbeat starts to play. If he gets even closer to you, you'll instead see static on your screen, which is paired with a loud distorted moan. Now if he does manage to find you, you'll hear a loud scream and a fast-paced heartbeat. At this point, your only option is to run, since you can't hide mid-chase. To avoid赤マント, you can hide in lockers, cabinets, and even bathroom stalls found around the school. Another useful tip for avoiding赤マントis that he can't enter the vents. This makes it a great place for hiding and stashing items. You also need to watch out for these red portals scattered around the school, as these act as a spawn point for赤マント. If you think赤マントis your only threat in the school, then you'd be sadly mistaken. On the second and third floor, a glowing mask roams the halls, searching for anyone that crosses its path. If it notices you, a loud heartbeat will start to play, paired with a strange noise. When this happens, the mask alerts赤マントto your location, forcing you to run away. It can even enter rooms, which can really catch you off guard in certain scenarios. In the vents, you can find a centipede that randomly travels throughout its maze-like pathways. If you manage to run into it, it'll make a loud hissing noise and attack you, so make sure to steer clear of it and listen closely for any sounds indicating it's nearby, especially around corners. There's also some spiders that appear on the school floors once you reach a certain point in the game. When you run into them, they trap you in place, forcing you to mash out of their grasp. Another way to deal with them is with bug spray, which is found in the second floor girls' bathroom. Lastly, there's this harmless enemy that is just meant to give you a scare. Not all is bad in the school, however, as there are some friendly entities you can find. This well, for example, found in the first floor vent actually gives you a key item and advice on how to defeat Akamano, for only a small price of 100 yen. You can also find a girl on the roof of the school who helps you with your journey, but we'll discuss her a bit later when the time comes. After you've been playing the game for a little bit, you will hear a loud chime start to play. This seems to be based off the Westminster chimes, which play to mark the passing of time. Although this doesn't seem to do anything, I thought it was worth bringing up. However, once you reach the halfway point of the game, you will hear a noise that matters. This loud yell indicates to the player that Akamanto is frustrated and even stronger than before. When this happens, Akamanto moves much faster and becomes much more aggressive. His appearance slightly changes as well, with his cloak being a darker red and his mask having a more ominous look to it. He also does even more damage per hit, forcing you to play more reserved than usual. Good thing is, if you start to take a lot of damage, you can actually find healing items around the map. These come in the form of energy drinks and band-aids. No matter what health you're at, healing items will always bring you back to full health, which is definitely nice, especially for later on in the game. Now, there are two different endings to this game, and we're going to start by covering the escaped ending. On the second floor, there's a science room which has an incomplete anatomy model in it. Graffiti's on the ground that reads, "Bring me the 7 parts." These include a nose, brain, left arm, right arm, organ, eyes, and a rib cage. These parts are scattered all around the school and aren't too difficult to find. After collecting all the anatomy parts, you can place them in the anatomy model. This will give you a rope, which can be used to escape from the roof of the building. But before you can access the roof, you need to help this mysterious girl I mentioned earlier. She appears to be hungry, so we need to grab her some food. Luckily, there's a vending machine in the cafeteria that dispenses an item every time you deposit 100 yen into it. In total, you need to collect 300 yen to get all the items we need. This will get you a band-aid, Gopepon, and finally some milk. After grabbing the food, you can go back up to the door and hand it to her. After handing her the food, she opens the door to the roof, allowing us to escape with the rope we were given. The girl ran as fast as she could. She arrived at the police station, trying to catch her breath. She explained everything. The police didn't seem to believe her, but they investigated the old school building anyway. The policemen told her that maybe she was just seeing things, and that she should go home and rest. As she walked back to her house, the girl thought to herself, maybe I was just seeing things. Maybe I'm just stressed out. Maybe it was all just a bad dream, but what if it wasn't? Another body found dead, brutally slashed multiple times with a sharp object. The identity of the body is still unknown due to the disfigured nature of the corpse. But the current autopsy report says that the victim is a high schooler, female, and about the age of 16. Police suspect that this is the work of the unknown serial killer, dubbed simply as the Slasher due to the matching MO. Authorities recommend civilians to avoid traveling alone, especially during the night. Now let's talk about the Akamanto killed ending. In the first floor hallway, there's a classroom that's being held shut by a dark spirit. In order to open the door, you need to grab the Ofuda talisman, which is located in a dresser in the third floor library. Placing this on the door opens up the classroom, which turns out to be a shrine room. The shrine in the middle of the room houses the 7 papers found around the school. You need to find the red paper, indigo paper, orange paper, blue paper, yellow paper, purple paper, and green paper. Once you find all the papers, you can place them in the shrine to get the Kusanagi no Tsurugi. This sword can be used to stab Akamanto and kill him for good. The deed was done. The girl stood completely still for a while, just staring at the velvet red cloak that now lay before her. Suddenly, as if she finally realized what she had done, she started to run without ever looking back. The next day felt like any other. Maybe it was just a dream, the girl thought, but the ringing sensation in her hand told her otherwise. The fact that she stabbed a man with her own 2 hands, it was too surreal for her to believe. Was that person even human, or was it something else? She had to go back to that abandoned school building. She had to confirm what had really happened. The school building was exactly as she remembered it, except just one thing. The body wasn't there. No evidence of it being moved or cleaned up after either. Just gone, vanished into thin air like nothing had ever happened. The girl returned home. She lay in bed staring into the darkness, just trying to make sense of it all. Months have passed since the last serial killing by an unknown slasher, and there was no sign of it ever appearing again. The rumor of the slasher spread and soon became a popular urban legend amongst teenagers. They started to call the slasher Akamanto, and he is said to be a masked spirit who wears a red cloak, and who appears to people using school restrooms. But no one is certain if the legend was based on a true story or not. While exploring the school, you can also find audio recordings. There are 10 of these located around the school that explain the story of how Akamanto came to be. The recordings follow a boy by the name of Atsushi, who is a transfer student to a new school. He's described as good looking, and in only 1 week stole most of the attention at school. The principal's kid, Kobayashi, doesn't like this, so he and his group start to bully Atsushi. Due to the bullying, Atsushi decides to talk to the school guidance counselor, named Nakajima. Nakajima gives Atsushi a tape recorder so he can get concrete evidence of the bullying to hopefully get them in trouble. But instead, Atsushi uses it to record his bad home life. Atsushi's dad, who's a highly respected politician, beats him on a regular basis, and it only seems to be getting worse. Worst part is, Atsushi feels like nobody will believe him due to his father's political power. During the recordings, we find out Atsushi's parents had an altercation, causing his mother to leave the picture. After recording the beatings, Atsushi takes the tape to Nakajima, where he listens to it and tells Atsushi that he can't help him, most likely due to his dad's power as a politician. After this, the beatings end up getting even worse, with Atsushi getting struck across the face by his dad. This was Atsushi's last straw, and caused him to end his own life. His body found completely cut up. Later on, Nakajima and their co-worker Tanaka are discussing the death of Atsushi. This is where we find out Atsushi's dad was found dead the same way he was, completely cut to shreds, with no one knowing how or why he died. Nakajima then decides to use the bathroom when he hears a knock on the bathroom stall. He then hears a voice asking the dreaded question, red paper or blue paper? Nakajima, frustrated, picks the blue paper and sees who he believes to be Atsushi, wearing a red cloak and a white mask. This is how the story ends. Akamanto is more than just another horror game. It's something special. It's a short, well-crafted, terrifying adventure that is nothing short of amazing. The mix of uneasiness and anxiety you feel throughout the entire game is unrivaled to almost anything I've ever played. When I first played this game, I didn't know if I could finish it, and even now it still scares me every time. I highly recommend this game and hope you can give it a try sometime. That is, if you don't scare easily. Now, like usual, before we end the video, I had some friends try this game out to see what they thought of it. I'll play the reactions right now.
Ah! Supposed to mean. I don't like this game.
Spider killer sprite.
What the fuck is that? Oh! Oh, I forgot. Donald Trump, please save us! Can I go in here now? Fuck. Oh, what the fuck? What the? Oh my god! Did I do it? Did I beat it? Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
And with that, the curtain's closed. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.